So let us continue for number 11. Okay, number 11 says here that x squared minus 2 over 5x is equal to negative 2 is to be solved by completing the square. What must be added to both sides of the equation to make the left side a perfect square trinomial? Okay, so let's check on that. So this is the given. You have x squared minus 2/5 x is equal to negative 2. So what will be the number that we have to add to complete the perfect square trinomial? So you have negative 2/5 x, so plus blank is equal to negative 2 plus blank. So remember, when we solve for the number that you have to add here to make it a perfect square trinomial, that is b over 2 squared. Okay, so now your b is negative 2/5. This is all over 2 squared. Okay, so let's divide negative 2/5 by 2. Let's have the horizontal method so that it will be clear. So negative 2 over 5 divided by 2. That's squared. So you have negative 2 over 5. Reciprocate. You have 1 over 2 squared. Then you have negative 2 times 1, or you can just cancel this. That shortcut method. Negative times 1 is negative 1 over 5. Then squared. So that would be negative 1 squared is 1. 5 squared is 25. So this is the number that you have to add here. 1, let me use another color. That should be 1 over 25 and 1 over 25. So that's letter B. Okay. Alright, let's have number 12. Okay, number 12. For number 12, what are the solutions of the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 equals 0? Now in this case, we cannot, well, it's hard to use the extracting the square root, although we can solve this by factoring, completing the square, but you know the a is greater than 1, so why not use the easiest one using the quadratic formula? So we'll use, that will be x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. This is all over 2a. Okay, now remember that before you substitute the values of the b, the c, and the a, you make sure that that will be in standard form. Is this standard? Yep, it's equal to 0. So I know my a is 2, okay, my b is negative 5, and my c is negative 12. Okay, so substitute that in the equation. So x is negative, remember there is a negative here, so this is 5, right? This is 5. Okay, so that negative is original in the equation, so you have to carry that, and if you will, the b is negative, so you have also to write negative b, because you might be thinking that, oh, I will not write the negative because it's right here. No, you have to carry, this is the original negative, you carry what is the given b, so negative 5, then plus minus square root of The b is, again, you carry the sign. Do not forget the signs are important. So negative 5 squared minus 4. Oh, sir, where is 4? The 4 is in the original equation. So it's in the original equation, 4. So 4, my a is 2. A is 2. My c is negative 12. Okay, so this is all over. Okay, all over 2 times a is 2. Okay, so I should have x is equal to negative times negative is positive, plus minus the square root of negative 5 squared is positive 25. Now look at this. This is negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 12 is 96, but that's positive already because this is negative 8 times negative 12 is positive 96 all over the world. Okay, all over 4. Okay, then what's the next? Okay, let me pan this over here. Okay, just 1 second. So I will have now x is equal to 5 plus minus the square root of, so 25 plus 96 is 121 all over 4. Now you have 5 is 121 a perfect square? It is, and that is 11. So 5 plus minus 11 over 4. Now I will now have 5 plus 11, okay, over 4, and 5 minus 11 over 4. So I should have 5 plus 11 is 16 over 4, and this is negative 6 over 4. So 16 over 4 is 4. And negative 6 over 4, I'll just reduce to the lowest term, that's negative 3 over 2. So these are now the values of x, which is letter, what letter? 4, negative 3, 2, okay, letter B, right? Here, letter B, look to 4, so that would be letter B here. Letter B. Okay, now let's move on. Let's have number 13. Okay, number 13, what are the roots of the quadratic equation? Oh, okay, kind of complicated. Alright, let's do it like this. Can I use quadratic formula? We can, but we need to write this first into standard form. Okay, so let's simplify this first. 1 minus x squared. Let's simplify 1. So that should be 1 minus 2x squared minus x plus 1 squared equals negative 3. So when you square this, that would give you 1, negative 2. Again, I'm just using shortcut method. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 times 2 is 4x. Then negative 2 times negative 2 is plus 4x squared. You can actually multiply this using FOIL or Parrots Beak. Okay, minus this is x squared. Okay, that would be 2x plus 1 is equal to negative 3. Right there. Okay, so so this minus is applicable not only for the x, that would be for the entire element inside the parenthesis, because this is inside the parentheses, so these are good as one. That means this negative is good for all. Okay, so I have 1 minus 4x plus 4x squared. So negative times x squared is negative x squared. Negative times positive 2x is negative 2x. Negative times positive is negative 1 is equal to negative. So there. So I have now something that I can divide or combine. Okay, so I have now something that I can combine. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so that would be first are these terms. Okay, so 4x squared minus x squared is 3x squared. And then I have negative 4x and 2x. I have negative 6x KFC, negative 4x minus 2x, right? That will be negative 6x. Then 1 minus 1, basically that's 0, is equal to negative 3. Close to standard. I still have negative 3 here, so I will add here with its opposite 3. So I add the 3, so I should have 3x squared minus 6x, so plus 3, and this is now 0. Let's cancel. Okay, so this is now my standard. So if this is the standard form of this given, what method are we going to use? Okay, extracting, no. We can use completing the square, but to make it easy, we'll use the quadratic formula. So x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, okay, all over 2a. I know my b is negative 6, so I have negative again. I'll carry negative 6. This negative is in the original equation. Plus minus, the b is negative 6, so negative 6 squared minus 4, this is 6, times the a is 3. The c is 3 all over 2 times what's the a? 3. Okay, let's move here. Okay, let me erase this first. Here. Okay, so let's have now negative 6, or 6, negative times negative 6, that will be 6, positive 6 plus minus the square root of negative 6 squared is 36 minus negative 4 times 3 is 12, right? Negative 12 times 3 is yeah, that's 36, negative 36. Okay, all over 6, 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so I have 6 plus minus square root of 36 minus 36 is 0 over 6. Then I have 6, square root of 0 is 0, so that's actually insignificant. So 0 over 6, so this 0 here is insignificant, so I have 6 over 6, so I have 1. So the x is 1. What is the question? Okay. The question is what are the roots of the quadratic equation? So we only have one root, which is 1, so letter A. That should be letter A. Okay. Okay, now let's have number 14. We're close. For number 14. Okay. how many solutions does the quantity 2x minus 5 squared is equal to 0 have? So let's solve. How many do you think? Let's check. So that would be 2x minus 5 squared is equal to 0. So this is a perfect square. I'll use extracting the square root. So extracting the square root, so cancel. I have 2x minus 5 square root of 0 is 0. I'll make sure that the x will be isolated, will stand alone. So I still have 5. I have plus 5 is cancel. So I have now 2x is equal to 5. So my x has still a coefficient of 2. I will have write x is equal to 5, then over 2 over 2. So x is equal to 5 over 2. Okay, so your x, how many solutions? There is only one, and that's only 5 over 2. Okay. Alright, let's have number 15, the last number. So this is problem solving. So the area of a rectangular mask is 27 centimeters squared, and its length is 2 centimeters more than its width. What are the dimensions of the face mask? Okay, so let's draw a rectangle first. So this is a mask. The area for this is 27 centimeters squared. This is the length, this is the width. Now it says here the length is 2 centimeters more. So that means it's longer than its width. So since we do not know the width yet, so we'll represent W, the width, with X. And then whatever your width, 2 centimeters more than that is the length. So I will have, if my width is X, then that would be plus 2 because the length is 2 centimeters more than its width. Right? Okay. Now I will now have, I know we're looking for the dimensions. So we'll know how long is the length and the width. So I know that area is equal to length times width. Let's do the commutative property because most of the time we have here the term without the variables. So let's have W times length is equal to A, area. So my length is X plus 2, my width is X, and my area is 27. So 27, so multiply that. So X squared plus 2 times X is 2X is equal to 27. What method? What method? If we will use negative, we will use factoring. It can't be because negative 27, 3, that's 2. Okay, we'll use completing the square. So completing the square, x squared plus 2x plus blank is equal to 27 plus blank. So what's the number that we have to write in the blank? That is b over 2 squared. So my b here is 2. So 2 over 2 squared. 2 over 2 is 1 squared, so that should be 1. So this is plus 1. This is plus 1. This is plus 1. Okay, so this is now a perfect square trinomial. Okay, that's already a perfect square trinomial. So this is x plus 1 squared is equal to 28. Okay, so where did you get this one? When you multiply x plus 1 times x plus 1, it gives you this. And a shortcut is whatever the result of your b over 2, that's the number that you have to put here. If this is negative 1, that you should have minus 1. Since this is positive, so I have plus 1. Okay, so I will now extract the square root of both. So let me write here x plus 1 squared is equal to 28. Extract the square root, extract the square root, so I should have x plus 1 is equal to, now look, for 28, is there a factor of 28 which is a perfect square? Yes, you have 4 times 7, right? Okay, so that should be x plus 1 is equal to square root of 4 is positive negative 2. Then 7 is not a perfect square, so it will remain under, it remains under the radical symbol, this one. Okay, then I have still a positive 1 here. I'll make sure that it's only x, so I will subtract 1. I'll subtract 1 also on the other side, so that will be x is equal to negative 1 plus minus 2 square root of 7. Okay, so let me pan this over. Okay, so I have now, if I separate the two, I will have negative 1 plus first 2 square root of 7, and then the other is negative 1 minus 2 square root of 7. So this is the plus and this is the minus here. Okay, do we have answer? Do we have answer, sir? Let me check. Okay, they are written in standard. I mean, known, the leading term is positive, so that means we have to change the leading term into positive. So that would be, I'll just change the opposite. So this, the opposite of this, to make it negative, positive, I'll multiply it with negative. So that's positive 1. Then I have to do it for all, not only here. So this is now minus 2 square root of 7. And then the other one is change that to positive. I'll change that also to plus 2 square root of 7. So these are the values of your x's. You have an answer? Hold on. You have an answer here? Yep. So we have 1. What letter? It should be here. Ah, okay. So this is plus 2 square root of 7. The other one is negative. Anyway, this one, for this, if you make this positive, you multiply this with negative, but you have also to multiply with negative 1. So that is, that will be negative 1 plus 2 square root of 7. So actually just go back here. So that should be letter C. Okay, for this. So that's letter C. Okay, I hope you learned the explanation for this assessment.